All right, this says we are live, and this is going to be probably a very short stream, just a pop up. Nothing in particular going on, nothing of any importance to discuss. Just want to kill some time, drink a little coffee, and check in, see what's going on. Hey, Sam, thanks for popping in here. Hey, Landau, I saw you ran a little bit earlier. I got a late start, and that's why I wanted to set it for 5 minutes till. Um, Don't have a topic, so whatever anybody wants to talk about is what's on the agenda. And there's the Tree of Hope still going. Didn't get any GoFundMe donations today unless we got them after 5. I haven't checked it since I left the Ark. But we did have one come in the mail, and an awesome supporter of the Ark came by and gave me some cash, or gave the Ark some cash. So did make some progress today, and I'm going to keep plugging at it every day till we can pay our bills and keep the place open for the Ark pets. I trust you're not at the dog park this time, Sam. I'm trying to get myself centered, but I'm not intelligent enough to do that, apparently. That way, the opposite way. The opposite way. Look what my camera does. That's one reason I was late. I've got to figure out what's going on with that. If I turn it either way, it puts me upside down. So that's why I'm in this mode. So usually anything that's not planned or a pop-up or spontaneous, if it can go wrong, it goes wrong. So we're starting out that way. And I don't know if anybody else is in here other than us three. Yeah, it says there are 5 people in here. There's my reminder for my insulin. One thing I was going to do on this pop-up is kind of a ask me anything. If anybody wants to ask me something, if it's something that won't get me demonetized, I'm happy to answer it or talk about it. And also it would need to be a PG-13 thing because I don't do the R-rated at this time of day. So people that are in here are mighty quiet. But we've only been going 3 minutes. Behind me back there, I was going to mention, I think Pam's going to stream tomorrow night, but that's what her and Blackie were talking about it in their private chat thing that I've been added to. But they were talking about when he's going to pick back up streaming, and Pam's going to stop doing the takeovers and that kind of thing since the time's changing. But uh, that discussion is between them, so I'm sure they'll have some announcement coming soon. And don't forget, your time changes tonight. Hey, Trash Cat. Oh, my pleasure. That's something that's easy to talk about. That is my passion, that Ark. I found that building. I looked for it for 6 months because we were tired of paying rent. I put money with money that we had saved to make the deposit on the place for the loan. And of course, it was bought on Ark's credit, and I co-signed on it because the Ark hadn't been going that long and hadn't bought anything of that size. And I was able to pay off the last fourth of it, I think. So, done some cool things to it since we've been there. I replaced the central heat and air. I was glad to do that for the pets because it was hard to keep it cool with window air conditioners and hard to keep it warm. Another volunteer replaced all of the windows in it, which I don't know what it cost, but it had the old original windows like from 1900. So that really helped us with our heating and cooling. I put insulation or had it put in the ceiling. It had none up there. It was just plywood up there or some kind of whatever they put in 1900, I guess. What else? Oh, the driveway and parking area, I paid for that because we only had gravel, or the place that had been there before. It was like a weekly gossip rag that, was just thrown out in people's driveway, but it was printed there, the Bradley News Weekly. Um, and it stayed open and paid people through the advertisements that, people would place in it. So that's who we bought it from, a kind of a friend of mine named Susan. And it hadn't been doing well, so we got a good deal on the building. But like I say, it just had gravel, and people would get stuck out back all the time in that deep gravel. So I gave us that. So I've put a lot of resources and certainly a huge amount of time into it over the last, in the ARC, the last 23 years, but that building the last 16 or 17. So we are kind of proud of our little place. Hey, Alec, good to see you. I hope you're doing well. At some point, I've kind of hinted at it, or maybe I always put people on the spot here, so don't be upset with me, Alec. But I would love to have Alec on as a guest on the Tennessee Fish Mafia and or Reptiles. So he's one of those among us that is a great resource, and would be an awesome guest to share some of that knowledge. Does the ARC have a drive-through window? Trash Cat, you know what? I've been trying to talk them into that, and I'm glad you asked that. That will give me a little support, I hope. No, we don't have that. One thing that we do is take our time with adoptions, and for a while now we've done 2 visits to adopt a pet. Used to, people could adopt 1 visit, and we found that when we went to 2 visits, maybe 3 years ago, it really cut down on that recidivism. We might get back 1 or 2 pets a year, and that's usually something unforeseen. But not everybody knows what's going on in their life. If I should pass right here on this stream, all of my animals would go back to the ARC because that's where they came from. My family, immediate family, would have the option to adopt any of them, but I don't think there would be any interest there. So they always have a place to go. So I'm not concerned about that. Let's see. What I started to tell you and got on the rabbit trail about Pam streaming and stuff. You know what? If I hold that with the other hand, I do have my um, tripod here, but I can only put it in that way, so I have to hold it this string. Besides being on my head, standing on my head, the eggs I was incubating back there behind me, finally tossed those out today. They definitely weren't any good anymore. In fact, I tossed the whole container they were in out. So she is still incubating the 1 egg that she wanted. Dang it, no more fish water hands tonight. Just put a pain relief patch on my hand. Hurt so bad all day. Oh, well, I hope that helps. What do you use, Lando, if you don't mind me asking? I have some of those too, but I tend not to use them as much as I could. And that's one of the things. Some of those are over the counter, and I just yesterday started using my Medicare OTC benefit. It's like if you have Medicare A and then if you have Medicare B, a supplemental policy, which you pay for, it's well worth it. It's dental and vision and hearing, I guess, whatever the Medicare A doesn't pay for it. It helps with medicines and stuff. But anyway, mine went down this year like $10 a month, and my benefits went up. And one of the things I have is OTC benefits. I've had them all year, and the total is quarterly. I think it's $120 or $127 or something, but that'll buy you some. It's things like toiletries, it's toothpaste, toothbrushes. What else did I get yesterday? NyQuil. But in the CVS pharmacies, who does mine with Blue Cross Blue Shield, and they have like a little blue tag on the shelf for those things that you can just show your Blue Cross Blue Shield, Medicare Part B card, And as long as you haven't gone over that for the quarter, and my quarter ends obviously the last day of December, so I'm trying to use that benefit up. Baby powder. I use a lot of baby powder, but we won't talk about that. Now, I haven't used deodorant for years, so I just throw a little powder here and there, and I just don't stink anymore. I don't think I sweat, so I love baby powder. So I can stock myself up on some baby powder. There's just several things that I got. Lots of feminine hygiene stuff, no use for that, but um, just all kinds of things. All kinds of health related things. Condoms, no use for those right now. Maybe in the future, but not right now. I was trying to remember what else I got. Of course, you can get thermometers and all that, and you can even get pediatric stuff. As long as you just have to have that Medicare Part B card. So I am glad I found that benefit because that's going to be like 500 or more a year raise toward those type of things. I don't have to buy them anymore. Oh yeah, I'll take the 500. Thank you for posting that link, Huawei. That was actually set up by Melanie, the young lady that you guys met today. And some of you were saying she seemed more mature, older, and she's just awesome. She's very mature. She's definitely an old soul. Um, Someday when she has to leave us, it will really hurt, but that's not today. Um, she's a real asset, as are all of our volunteers. So, hey Nathan, welcome, welcome. How did you find me again? Oh, you got a stock Orlando. Trash Cat, $5 super sticker. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I rarely get super stickers anymore, um, but I always have donated my anything I make off of YouTube to the Ark. I've just always done that. Um, so it's not a whole lot. Usually, my videos and stuff, I'll make 130, 160 a month, which is nothing to sneeze at. What, 12, 13, $1,400 a year. And it's those old videos that are just stupid and not edited that people click on and watch. And some of them are, 5,000, 4,000, 3,500 views and stuff. So it adds up. Somebody will want to watch whatever. It's a little white patch. I don't know what that is. Yeah, Trash Cat, we had to. One of the things we did was the inspector wasn't worth a shit when they inspected it before we bought it. It did have new wiring and new plumbing put in. All new copper pipes and all new wiring. So that was good, but it had like the industrial, like the paper thin carpet they had put down when they bought the place. But underneath that was supposed to be probably we thought would be hardwood since that living room was that beautiful white pine. Uh-uh. What was underneath that was cardboard were the good things we found, but you've seen those like fruit baskets or bushel baskets and stuff, how they're made out of the real thin slats of wood. That's mostly what the floor was made out of. I'm not kidding you. The floor was rotted out and that stuff had been put over it and then the carpet. So room by room, we just fundraised and I worked back then and I had a good job. I didn't live off of disability, but I had a good paycheck twice a month. So we got room by room, we got each floor repaired and completed, and then we put tile down. And over about 12 to 14, 15 years, having to mop with diluted bleach water that really dried those tiles out, and they broke. But had linoleum put down a year and a half ago, but Bandit and Coco are working on that, but we'll repair it when they're gone. So yeah, we put a lot into it, and not just me. Lots of people. We've done fundraiser drives to, you know, we couldn't use all the rooms when we first opened, and the pets were the first room we completed was that office kind of area where it's a play area, but it's what we call our office there in the center area. that was their very first room, and that's where we kept the dogs, and they were kenneled there, and we let them out in like small groups. We literally would have 16 and 18 dogs all the time back then because we didn't have a county shelter back then, just a city, and it was very high kill, so we kept as many as we could there. Okay, that's better. What color is Trash Cat? Oh, let's see. I meant to look at that too because we should have talked about that. Well, Trash Cat's no color on here tonight, but I guess I am on StreamYard. My hand is getting hot from this patch. I think it must be like an icy hot site type deal or something. I know it's a package that Ultra Strength Pain Relief. It could be something like Aspercreme or something like that, aspirin in there. Aspirin's a great pain reliever and one of my all-time favorites, but I became allergic to it about 10 or 12 years ago. It made me want to stop breathing, wheeze so bad, and big hives and all that, but oh my gosh, you ever have a sore throat that nothing wants to help it? Get you about an ounce or two of really warm water and crush you a couple of aspirin and put those in there, mix them up good and gargle that. Oh my god. Anyway, Trash Cat, welcome to membership. Thank you. Thank you. And that goes to the ARC. I do have a few members, and I do get, the membership from that each month. And that is one thing that I am going to start doing is something for my members. I'm all caught up in this fundraising for the ARC right now, but I'm going to start doing some giveaways and some member-only streams and stuff like that. The problem is you have to set your member-only from a computer, a desktop. You can't do it from a phone, and I hate the desktop, so... But anyway, yes, welcome. Mighty sweet of you to do that. Very sweet. I do have some members-only videos that only members have seen, so you can definitely go back and look at those if you like. There's all kinds of stuff in there, saltwater stuff, and just weird things. The weirder things are things that I never showed on the general side here. Had to update the payment. Thanks for reminding me. Welcome again. Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, welcome again. June had to do that recently, too. I'll be back. We'll be here a bit. I don't know that Pam is not for sure going to not go tonight, so I don't know if she's got a link posted or not. But I had told her and Blackie in our private messenger chat, their private messenger chat, I'm just added on there like Ed is. A couple of us on there that are on the panel sometimes. Rag may be on there, I'm not sure. Anyway, Blackie decided not to go tonight, and Pam was trying to decide whether she'd let him go and go tomorrow night, or then when he said he wasn't going to go, she said she had some things going on and she might wait and go tomorrow night. So I said, well, I will be in no one's way doing this, just doing a pop-up. I told him I was going to do a poo-up, and I went back and they were laughing, and I saw that I left off the second P. So it's a pop-up, not a poop-up. No link for Pam. Yeah, I don't think she's going to go then. She was talking about it tomorrow night. And then we have the Tennessee Fish Mafia tomorrow night. And we have Susie Q before that. And so Pam will likely then go tomorrow night at 11. I think she likes Sunday night better anyway. I think it works out better for her. I like it better because, it's a break between Tennessee Fish Mafia and then come back in a couple hours for her stream. You're going tomorrow night. Okay. All right. So you just talk about her. It's like saying Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. But you have to be looking in the mirror. All members link. Sam, you are just such a awesome mod. You hear that all the time, I know, but I know you do, but you gotta hear it some more. So Pam if you want to come up, anybody wants to come up, you're welcome. There's just nothing. This is just like 101. Nobody's dared ask me a question. Pam, I said anything anybody asks me. Uh, Bloody here. Uh oh. Sarah. That I'll answer within reason. That excludes you, Pam. You can't ask anything. But yeah, just felt like doing something a little different. I may not do another one of these, but I may make it a regular thing if it takes off. And what did I call the stream? Your coffee spoon is downtown. Yeah, I used it to. I'm glad you said that because I keep meaning to tell you something else. I keep it right there by the coffee pot, right on top of the where I pour the water in, and then I stir my coffee with it every time, and then I rinse it, and put it right back up there. So I use it every time. I don't want to lose it. I'm bad to lose things in this place, and I find sometimes I go back and find, like, especially bioactive tanks, I find like my large tablespoons or God knows, forks, aquariums. We lose stuff like that in aquariums. But I was going to try to remember to tell you that I am loving that soap. I don't use it every time, but because I want it to last. But I've used it 3 or 4 times, and I really, really like it. How's the oatmeal and pudding going? I still have an unopened shirt. Okay, I read that wrong first. I still have an unopened shirt from Sarah sitting on my dresser. I'm so tired of it, Sarah. An unopened shirt. Can you clarify that for an old brother? Oh, how's the oatmeal and pudding going? You're tired of eating that diet. Yeah. Got it. Got it. Got it. Yeah, and don't expect me to be any more oriented or alert or coherent in this pop-up stream because it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. If you guys were me, would you get a it's a snow something eel. There's saltwater. I ordered a shirt from Threadless from Sponge Princess and I haven't opened it. Okay. Okay. It was a gift. It's not fancy, I wouldn't say, but it's nice. It's homemade basically with some cool ingredients. Don't ask me what. But I love homemade soaps. I always do. And I love things that make you smell good. I don't like colognes, and never been an Old Spice guy. Old Spice is popular again. I can't believe it. I guess enough generations have passed that I remember when Old Spice was just in that white, like a Coke bottle kind of thing, and it had a little plug thing that went in the top. Oh my God. I never used it. I never liked any of that. Aqua Velva, I used to get that when I was a teenager. There's something about an Aqua Velva man commercials. So sisters and lady folk would give me that kind of stuff. When I turned 33, I got Brute 33. Used to be, it's probably still around, and that's been a hot minute, 35 years ago now. But somebody gave me soap on a rope that said 33, Brute 33, with my sister. Let's hope enough English leather doesn't come back. Oh, let's hope English leather. I remember that one too. I didn't smell many of them, but I did use Aqua Velva a little bit because somebody gave it to me. It's hard to use up a bottle of that crap if you don't like it. Super fancy. Got some molds and garnish, all fancy. Fun to play with, and they make great gifts. Yep. Yep. Trash Cat sent me it. I'm not drinking out of my mug. That's because I made a large mug because I'm going to do a lot of fish tank and reptile habitat cleaning when I get off here, especially since Bam's not going live. Got to buckle down and catch up. High karate, I remember that. Oh my God. Yes, high karate. That's when all of the um, Bruce Lee and all of that stuff was really big, I guess in the 80s or late 70s. Hugo Boss, yes. Never smelled that. How about all your creatures today, Bob? Creatures here, or how are all your creatures? Well, everybody was great when I left the Ark. Um, and I had my dryers broke, so I had washed clothes and taken them with me and left them in my truck today. It was cool, so I had to dry those on the way home. And I grabbed me some Crystal, which I shouldn't have, but Crystal was like the first fast food place here in Cleveland, and we would drive from Athens, like 30 miles away, just to come to the Crystal. Now everything is here and everything you don't want, but that Crystal is still there, the original location. Uh, Stetson, I remember that one. Never smelled it, but I remember that. But anyway, I had me a Crystal to go and took that while I dried my clothes and got online and caught up Archie Mills and other stuff. I meant to look at the GoFundMe to see if anybody else had donated, but I'm going to try to. Well, tomorrow is Tennessee Fish Mafia, so I can bring it up there. Creatures at home are doing well. I just fed the cats before I came on here. Another reason I was a couple minutes late because they had decided it was time to eat. The dogs had TREATS. Oh, and I did go get some groceries with my dried folded clothes, some things, over $100, and I had 3 bags and a little bag of dog food. Can you believe that? Polo. Oh, yeah, Polo. Now, you know what? I did used to have a thing of Polo, and I think I still have that bottle unless I finally threw it away. It's a short, like squat green bottle with the gold plated, gold. I did have Polo, but I think I finally threw that bottle away. And I actually do have some, I lied. I do have some, what is it that I have? And every once in a great while, um, like for a doctor appointment, that's not a great while. But for something that I want to smell, clean, but not like I have on cologne or something, I have one that I like, and I just missed it in the air and like waved my hand through it. Um, it's in high school. It was Polo. I did have a green bottle of Polo. I'll have to look. I think the one I have that I like to just do a squirt of, I've had it for years, probably before I moved here over 20 years ago. It still smells like it's supposed to. That's how often I use it. It's a little spray bottle, spray pump thing. Bathroom Polo, right? Um, Ralph Lauren or Red. Uh, who was it? Estee Lauder's husband's initials was JHL, so JHL Red. I used to have that, and I probably have it put away. But I used to like that years ago. I forgot that. His initials were JHL, Estee Lauder's husband. That was the story. Brute. Brute 33. Yeah, I did have that when I was 33. Just not big on colognes. I like fresh smells. Every now and then I'll smell someone, especially a woman, like at the pharmacy yesterday. A lady walked down the aisle past me and just such a, not like perfume, but just a really nice, interesting smell. I'm sure she gets lots of compliments on it, but I just don't like a fake smell, like a perfumey smell. I don't think most people do. brood. Oh, that would go over well with the youngsters, right? I tried to baffle that water back there, and I see that it's still quite loud. That's two big hang-on backs. I can't remember what size they are, but they're putting some water out in that 180. It's kind of like a little waterfall. What else? Critters. All the dogs and cats are fine. Floyd has been acting maybe just a little older. I'm noticing him being a little slower now that he's been here a while. But I mean, he eats good. He's keeping his weight up and all that. But he does like to be by himself more and more. Lagerfeld. I meant to let you know, Sarah Nana, I have a cousin who was named Nokomis. He goes by Noki. K is silent. What a name. Probably butchered the spelling, but oh well. I think that's it. Carl Lagerfeld. Lagerfeld. Did y'all see Skipper's Facebook page? Hey, George. Howdy, howdy. And hey, Whips. How are y'all doing? Welcome, welcome. That title that I put on there, I was kind of playing with it. And if I decide to do these, I may even do like another channel, because I am going to split my fish and reptile channel, and probably stream on the respectively. Like if I'm on reptiles, I'll just use the reptile channel, and if it's a fish fam thing, I'll just do the aquatics. But more and more and more, the slow growth I have, it's about a sub a day, and that's fine. Steady growth, but are reptile people. So, and you guys, I've told you I spend almost all my time, except if I'm streaming on Friday or Saturday evening, or modding Susie. I don't think I'm Dan. I just don't mod. I do have a wrench a lot of places for back when I used to mod a lot with Candy and other people, but I just don't have time to do it, and or the inclination to do it. So I'm thankful to have good mods. It's Crystal Hamburger. It's Crystal Hamburgers or fried chicken. Well, I had the little meal combo, the number one, which is for their original little burgers, with the little piece of meat in the middle, and pickles and mustard and fries and a Coke. It's $8.99 or $7.99, something like that. It's with this K crystal, that crystal. But yeah, I need to get George to come up. I asked him last minute to fill in a couple of times lately, and he always had something going on. So, hey, Brandon, welcome, welcome. And Brandon had to cancel. You guys know he was going to be on, I don't know, a few weeks ago, but something came up and he had to cancel. So hopefully we'll get him rescheduled. He'd been on like a year ago, and that was a stream that we had all the Wi-Fi issues and stuff. So definitely want to have him back. You haven't been to Crystal? Yeah, that used to be the only thing around, and we didn't even have anything like that in Athens, where I grew up. I just got back home, always busy. Oh, I'm sure. I think I have something going on here, but my gosh, I'm down to 24 tanks with fish in them. Now, I still have some tanks that have water and plants, but not fish. but not that many, like 4 or 5 that don't have fish that are coming down eventually. Um, and now you're cooking, yeah, I know, and you know you've got that lovely wife. George has an awesome wife and an awesome family. Period. So he's a blessed man. I won't say lucky because George is a hard worker and deserves every blessing he's got. He's a great husband and a great dad and an awesome fish keeper and reptile keeper. So now, with all those accolades, you have to find, I'm teasing, squeeze this back in again sometime. Um, what is the title on this stream? Is it Hellfire for Sure or something like that? I was watching, I know some of you guys follow the guy, White Underbelly, or the title something like that. That guy that did the inbred family and his stream. I mean, his channel really took off, but he still does lots of just one-on-one interviews, just showing subjects. And there's one that I got referred just a while ago, and it's a lady that was 30 something, and I think she's in Appalachia somewhere. She said she'd never been to Tennessee or North Carolina, so she must be one of the other Appalachian countries. But she lives on the street she lives on, and the town she lives in is Hellfire for Sure. So I thought, what an awesome title for something, for anything. So I just stuck it on here. But what about Hellfire Reptiles? You have to be careful how you use stuff like that. You don't want to be taken wrong. And yes, we definitely need to reschedule for a Saturday. I will get with you. All right. Yeah, and like a lot of people, Brandon Works, can't remember your name now, but that's the T's. So they had to do the channel together. So Hellfire for Sure. Yeah. Isn't that a good title for something? I don't know. But the lady was saying that when she calls around, like to try to get social services and stuff like that, she has a child that her mother has custody of. I got hooked on it like 10 minutes, so I'm excited. I'm going to go back and watch the rest of it. He really has some interesting people on there. But she has a child that's never been married. She graduated high school and she actually went to college for a year. I say actually because when you see her, you know you don't judge people by what they look like, but sometimes you get surprised. So she definitely is a learner and an intelligent young lady, but she's 32 and she can't get a job. She can't anything. And she's sitting out on a porch. She talks about the electricity going off when it snows and stuff. It's just interesting that there's still people living like that. In our country this day and time, but when she calls or applies for jobs and stuff, when she lives on Hellfire for Sure Street, people don't want to take her seriously. Sam, your place or his? George is going to cook dinner for me for my birthday. George, he's on a puree diet, so when is your birthday? I don't keep up with anything. You guys saw on my sister's birthday video. I walked up to her and said, "So tomorrow's your birthday?" And she said, "No, in 5 days." And I've only known her for 67 years, but I just got it stuck in my head that it's October 6th and it's October 2nd, but I'll forget that again. So I don't remember birthdays. What is this? Oh, see, I mentioned Skipper's name, and I'm glad that he popped up to remind me. If you guys haven't seen Skipper, this is Hellfire for Sure, Skipper, and you're here. You're there. Skipper's Facebook page, check it out. He and his wife are on there for their anniversary, and it's cute. And there's Skipper's on there with no hat. Check it out. Check it out. Beef tacos. We love. Ooh, I bet your tacos are good. I've heard that everything you cook Anthony's had your food. Priscilla has. I'm trying to think who else I know that you cooked for. Beta and Guppy Gal. Hey, Patty. Patty said, Hellfire, I've got to get over there and see what this is. Thanks for the links, by the way. Patty Precious. Yeah. And then there were 9. We've had 4 and 5 in here, so there you go. There you go. I think I've been going about 35 minutes. So, welcome back, Lando. Hope your hand's feeling better and not just hot. The reason I ask you too is I have lidocaine patches, and I use them mainly like on my shoulder. I get a lot of pinched shoulder pain from the ruptured disc in my neck, and sometimes it goes down. It just depends on which nerves the ruptured, not herniated, the ruptured disc are grinding on, but it's usually the head. Usually goes up the right side of my head. What else? I missed my, what is that stuff? Botox. You know, that was originally for pain, and that's what it is for pain. But it tightens, your skin up and stuff. So I had one treatment with Botox injected into the muscles, the flat muscles around the right side of my face. And oh my God, what a difference. But it's worn off, and I missed my appointment last week, I guess, for that. So I've got it rescheduled, but they couldn't get me in for a couple weeks, so I'm looking forward to all those little sticks. Thanks, Skipper. It's been fun. Some pain still. Maybe it takes a while. Kind of numb. Numb is always good. Off to bed. Good night, Skipper. Thanks for popping in. But for real, guys, check out some cool pictures on his Facebook page. I don't want to give away everything, but Skipper is on there without his cap. He does take it off sometimes. It's been fun. Patty. I've got all these art supplies that I haven't even taken out of the Michaels bag. And I'm eager for Pam to have another art stream. I don't have a place to even work on art right now, so I have to probably do it on my dining room table. That would work. Alright, I am considering getting out of here. Thank you, Wally, for posting the ARC link. And Trash Cat, thank you for fixing your membership and coming back, and for the super chat. And as I said, all of the monies I do get from here go to the ARC. I've always done that. Because it's not a lot, and when you get monetized, I didn't have any plans for it, so that's just a good way to send it somewhere that can use it. All right. Anything else? Any questions? You guys missed a good chance to ask me anything. I've heard in the grapevine, not in the grapevine, but that I can be intimidating, and people are intimidated by me, and I guess I can see why, but I'm really not. I'm just grouchy. I think for the most part I'm harmless. Unless you do something nasty to me. Ciao now. Thanks, Alec. And it's tax write-off for sure. Yeah, if you mess with me or mine, I want your blood then. What happened, Linda? Got a Hugh Patrick from Nathan today. Did you open it? I remember you said that earlier. It's just one of those injuries that happens. A lot of injuries are repetitive. Those of us that have had carpal tunnel know that. And back injuries, it's not one thing, unless you're a car wreck or something. But it's a lifetime of lifting the wrong thing. Ed has a really bad back injury that he lives with. I read on the ARC website they don't adopt out of state. In general, we don't, and we have that on there so we can fall back on it. But I'm the one that decides ultimately if a pet's adopted or not. And we've had a couple of times in the past. The last time I said I won't do it anymore unless it's somebody I know and trust. Last time was a soldier, a young guy back from Afghanistan. His sister lives in Nashville. He'd been at Visitor. Then they were traveling back to Florida or New Orleans or somewhere down on the coast there, the Gulf Coast, where he was from. And they, for some reason, stopped. I don't know. This is on the way. But they stopped in the ARC, and he wanted a dog, and he wanted a little older dog, and it all just sounded great. And I said, no, we've had, that's too far away. That's like a day trip for one of us. Oh no, I swear. And if anything happened, well, guess what? The dog got picked up outside by a kill shelter, and he didn't respond to attempts to reach him. It had, its ID and stuff on. So I ended up having to get a rescue group in that area. I had personally, I wouldn't ask the ARC to do that, but I had done the adoption and trusted the guy. I had to, because rescue groups, you think it's rough in a shelter, but rescue groups, people that do this in their homes, that's what we used to do. And, to centralize it and have your own little house really helps. You can be open, and people can come there. They don't have to come to your house, and you can keep lots of pets there. But anyway, I had to get a rescue group in that area, and they're overwhelmed from hurricane stuff recently and all that. This was 4 or 5 years ago. A big donation to go over and pull the dog out and adopt it because it was on the kill list. And they sent me pictures of her. She was a little, like 8 or 9 year old Dachshund, a Chiweenie. And, so I said, never again, never again. But, I know you're not going to do that, Patty. That's just why it gives us, and we do them like North Carolina. We're sitting right at Alabama, Georgia, and North Carolina. We're at the bottom of, not up in the tip where RAC is at, but we're down at the bottom right-hand side if you're looking at the map. So we do have states around us, and while I'm talking, I can think of 2 in North Carolina that we're just over. Sometimes we do the other side of Atlanta. It's just we want that discretion, to say that's too far. And we have people that just see a dog and they've never seen a video or anything or know anything about it, and they just want it shipped to them. And we're like, no, what if the dog doesn't like you? So anyway, have I checked them today? Actually, I ran out so fast this morning I did not. I only check them in the morning. Your last dog was from here? Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, they do. They actually do, because they actually have their act together north and northeast, and lots of dogs. We had 14 puppies dropped off. Some of you might remember that this summer, just in an open bin, just a bin. And people were knocking on the door saying, your dogs are running loose. Well, they weren't ours. Somebody just set the bin in the yard. And I was off that day and not even in town. So that, of course, I got the call, and we can't keep them in the bin. I'm like, so get one of our carriers, really, get one of our big carriers and put them in that. Well, they won't fit in one. Get 2 carriers and put them in that. And they'll have to go to animal control because we can't take 14 puppies. We don't have the money to vet 14 dogs at one time. We just don't. And I'm not starting. We have credit cards. I'm not doing that because we're not going to lose our property over a big vet bill. So, and we have to pay taxes. That's coming up February. But anyway, those dogs all got shipped because we were asking about the one that was there that day wanted the carriers, one of the carriers, and I could care less. But finally, the director called and said, ask her to stop emailing and calling because we sent them in those carriers they shipped, up north. So that's so sad. But no, I didn't check my sugars this morning, but I think they're okay because the last couple of days they've been below 200. My fasting, I had a 180 something and a 190, so that's taken 20 units of Lantus at bedtime in the belly. But I'm sure he's going to put me on up to 25 or 30. I think I have a teleconference Monday with the doc. So yeah, Patty, we don't know. We don't do the. We don't do any of the shipping because there were some issues with that at the first. Like the people that were doing the shipping, it's a one-way trip. So if the dog gets there sight unseen and does not work out, then sometimes it's hard to find a home for the dog, or will it be a good home? So that's the only reason we haven't revisited that, and we're able to keep our census where we don't need to do that, and we don't kill them. So that's why we don't. Let me see what y'all are talking about here now. But yeah, Patty, I would be awesome if there's a doglet. They're all little ones. Terry Tropical Trainwreck always did say, make sure the fish will eat at the store. Yep, this place that I go to now a lot, that's right here in town because of my reptile stuff. They have reptiles in the other two places. Ethan and Rob don't have reptiles or reptile stuff to feed them. So that's why I kind of stay close to home right now. It's convenient for me and my schedule. Um, but I used to go around there, and that was before Rob even opened. It's been a few years, and go by and see if they let me help feed the fish in the evening. And things that are hiding, come out to eat, and fish that won't eat, and fish that are bullies. I mean, you can learn so much just by feeding the fish. So he's got one of those. I started to say it's called a snow something eel. I can't remember. I know what they're called, but it's saltwater. I got an awesome deal on it, and I was thinking about getting that, but I can't decide. You're right. They do ship lots of dogs. Um, it's just because it's a cultural thing in the South. People would rather let them have all the puppies in the world than dump them at the shelter. And I think those people that do that should have to be the ones that euthanize their puppies. I mean, that's mean, but I bet they'd stop that breeding right quick if they had to kill them. Of course, some people, do the old brick in the bag to the river thing. That's so horrible, but they do it. Last week, she bought a Queen Marie. Last week, hey Marie, and daunting pest. Oh no! Oh, they shouldn't have sold it. Yep. I was talking about Amy today. I think I was telling Melanie about I needed to find the video of Amy trying to bury that log, that branch. She doesn't have dogs, but she loves the art dog. She has cats, and she walks her cats on harness and leash. Lost $300 in fish. That sucks. Snowflake. Thank you, Melvin. This one's pretty good size, and they don't eat live things. And my flame fin uh, fish back there disappeared. It's 2 days now. I can't see it, and it was fine, healthy eating. Oh, there it is. Duh. Where you been? There it is, right there on the side, eating all that algae. Where you been, Bubba? See how pretty he is? I thought maybe that big squirrel fish had killed him. Yeah, I'm glad to see that. Every time I say something, they pop up. Every time I say a name, they pop up. Who else do I want to pop up here? There's Prinny. Prinny girl, come on. Oh, Prinny's a good girl. She's such a good girl. She's so relaxed now. She was so skittish when she first came here. She's a good girl. Look at that. That worm's jealous. She's trying to squeeze in on us. It ain't happening, is it? Nope. We gotta have our time too. That old worm down there. That old worm down there. Cleaning my fish tank with laundry detergent. That's an interesting. But yeah, Patty, if you see, do you still hear? No, Sandy, it passed. Hey, Sandy, no, it passed away. And after Jess sent me those big shells and everything, it did move into one, but the last molt that it had was the last molt that it had. It's been gone probably 6 or 8 months. And at the base of that plastic, big plastic, its shell's laying right there where it left it. So it's gone. I like those guys, but they get too big. It got a couple of my wrasses, and I love wrasses, and they're usually not. Nothing's cheap these days. Nothing is cheap. It is. Yep, you're right, Patty. It is a dangerous time, and that thing was so big. It had to be several years old, so it just might have, just been its time. The Pacu, yeah. You can see those guys. There's one of them. They must be down there together. They usually don't hang together, but kinda. That means that they're thinking they're going to be fed. And there's the snake. There she is. I'm sitting on her one egg. I'll be glad to get her. She's really out of quarantine now, and she doesn't have any mites or worms or anything that I've been able to detect. How's the pool coming from the Pacu? Well, I could show it to you, but it's just sitting there. I unfolded it and I started trying to put those metal rods together in it, and I just don't have it in me. I've had that thing for probably a year, but the upside is the Pacu haven't grown much at all. I can't show that. Can't get it back there. Should turn around and show it. Whips had a molt. Well, you look glorious anyway, Whips, but I saw on your Facebook or Lisa's or some where you were over there helping Lisa, you and somebody. That was awesome of you. I know I'm going to have to put them somewhere. They really have slowed down, and people say that they're not stunted. I mean, that's a 180. You see how much room, how much room that fish has. It's a 6 foot tank. Both. I've got a pool set up, and I've got everything like the spillway, the rocks. I'm still riding around the 200 pounds of river rock or river pebbles, the pretty brown ones. They're in the back of my truck. They've been through the car wash. I don't know how many times now. Those bags have been in the back of my truck because I'll have to unpack them. They put them in there at Home Depot for me. Pacu reminds me of the surgical patients. You're right, they shouldn't be sold at all. And dummy me, when I got them like 3 or 4 years ago, I got them up in Knoxville, and I liked them. And the store that I was at, the man's son, I was trying to research them. There are a lot of Pacus. There are several kinds. And of course, they're albino. And he told me that they didn't get over 2 feet and probably wouldn't get that big. And they haven't. They're, I think the smallest one's at 14 and the other one's maybe 14 and a half, but they've really slowed down. Really slowed down. And they eat great. I think it was Patty that asked me in a comment, when do they eat? And they do eat what the other fish eat, but they also have their own special stuff. They eat nuts and fried, fried, dried fruits, and never give them any candy, of course, or anything like that, or chocolate, but walnuts, any kind of nuts. They love that stuff. Whatever would fall out of a tree, they're primarily vegetarian. Get those special treats. Yeah, but they never bother. I used to think it was a big deal to hand feed them, but it's not, because they're not going to, they don't want a finger. And I've actually, just like the knife fish was cleaning um, one of their, around their mouth on a couple of live streams. I was like, oh my God, look at that. And I was showing it to in the stream on here. Well, this past week I bought a 20-gallon long tank with white sand and five something. Well, I disagree that they should be sold at all. Some folks can keep them just fine, but they're yeah. Well, that's with a lot. You're right, Wibbs, but that's like a lot of fish. People just get them. They're on the list. People want them. You know, they sell them. Sell them. Those were school, and they might have been. Um, they were bigger than quarters, but not quite silver dollars. And I had three of them, and one of them never did well. But so eventually I lost it. They were in a 55. The one that was in my kitchen that now has my gopher snake in it in the reptile room. But as they grew, I guess when they got about 5 or 6 inches, I had got the 180 set up by then. So I moved them in here a couple of years ago. I agree with you. But that's just like dogs and cats, you know. If you can pay the adoption fee, you can get one, but shouldn't there be some, at least talk to the person, you know? I was shocked when I first joined the ARC and we would go to Petco, and a couple of the people, especially in the reptile department, came and talked to me and said, you know, and I was like the cat person because they didn't do cats at all. And if they got a cat or a kitten, they would come and basically, if you could donate a doctor, you could have the kitten. Really? So that meant it probably would never be wormed. It would never have flea medicine. You didn't know if it was going to be inside. You know, just, and of course, it only took me a few months to see that that kitten came back pregnant, or they brought its kittens back. So, but they told me, you know, you guys should be screening people and charging an adoption fee, because I know one of the guys told me, I won't say his name, I know a guy that keeps, you know, monster snakes, and, you know, he will take kittens and feed them to his snakes rather than pay. Back then it was probably $5 for an extra large rat. Now it's $10 or $12, at least here. And I thought, oh my God, how sick, you know. But snakes got to eat, but you can't afford to feed that snake and you can get a free kitten. It's just so, you know, there's just so much wrong with it. Right, and that's why most apartments have things in the lease about that, and certainly our insurance, because we are a small place and to minimize their risk. You know, insurance is not there to pay claims for you. They don't want to do that, and if you pay more claims than they figure you're worth, they'll cancel you. But we had that happen, and it was one volunteer that cost it 2 claims in a week. But we have good insurance now. We have 12 breeds of dogs that they won't let us take because we're in a house, you know. So when we have 16 or 18 dogs, which is never now, that's a lot of dogs. And that's why we have 5 playrooms set up. You see all of the rooms and the gates and stuff. But we normally, like, we have 6 right now. and Monday we'll have 5. One's adopted, and actually her owner is working here till March, but she will be taking her home with her to Philadelphia. So we do out-of-state adoptions, but not generally. But I've spent more than 3 one-hour visits with that lady, and the dog absolutely adores her. And I've seen videos and all that, and the dog will be coming down during the Thanksgiving and Christmas to meet this dog. They've never met, but they both get along great. So, you have to know kind of what you're doing and use common sense. But yeah, we have 12 dogs that we're not allowed to have at the Ark, and nothing over 30 pounds. So we actually have a scale, and if it's on the border, those of you that were on the live stream I did from there yesterday, you saw that gorgeous dog, but I could tell it was probably 45, 47 pounds, and I would love to have had it, but if it ever bit somebody just out of fear or something, we got sued, we'd lose everything, because insurance is going to say, nope, it weighs 47 pounds, and we only cover dogs, up to 30. I love all dogs. See you, George. Thanks for popping in. I sure wish I had one of them tacos he's making. Is there any topic that I have not circled back to and rambled back to? Oh my God, I've been on here an hour. I think I got back to everything. But the Ark used to do home visits, but I mean, how are you going to do that the days I'm the only one there? Now there's a couple of groups in the area, like there's the East Tennessee, Kentucky, East Tennessee, Boston Terrier Rescue. I used to work with a nurse at Blue Cross Blue Shield that was involved in that, her and her husband. But the president of that, Joe, he will sometimes email me and ask me if I have somebody that can go do a home visit and follow their criteria. So I've asked people to do that before for them. But the thing about a home visit is, everything's going to be perfect and be clean and be, da 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 da. And I've done some of those. When I do one, I look under the food dish or under the kennel. That's where, you're going to see the true story. Pam's not going tonight. She said no. I wouldn't have gone over her. Nope, nope, nope. I gathered, Pam. Gathered, Pam. Y'all ain't right. I ate about 6 tacos tonight. That sounds good. I had that crystal, but I'm about ready for my Asian food. Yeah, she's going tomorrow, Patty. Poor little worm. Look at all of the seed holes in the floor. And there's the manger scene, baby Jesus. That was in one of the tanks I broke down. Don't ask me. It was just in one. Poor little worm. Patty, worm would make you a good dog. Worm, you want to go with Patty? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The worm wants to go with Patty. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Francis said enough of that. Come on, girl. Come on. She made room for you. Come on. Worm. Worm. Come on. Girl, you better come on. Come on. Ain't nobody going to be picking you up. Come on. Jump up there. Girl, you can jump higher than that in your sleep. Come on. Come on. There she is. There's the worm. Oh, good worm. That's weird, Patty, just saying. All right. I'm into it, Patty. Right, right. Atkins Nature Aquariums. Howdy, howdy. Welcome, welcome. How are you doing, Ian? Hope all is well. Hope all is well. Okay, I've said for 20 minutes I'm getting off here, and I am going to, Pam, I'll let you do anything. On that note, I'm going to say good night, guys, and thank you all for hanging out with me. And maybe we'll do this again. It wasn't too different than what's usual, but we'll see what happens in the future. Say good night, Worm. Say good night. Oh, she's a baby. That worm is a baby. Tree of Hope. Yeah, oh, Patty, yeah, I went and watched about 2/3 to 3/4 of it tonight, but I left a comment on it, and we all have to do what's right for us or what we can tolerate or how much bullshit we can put up with. But he did get denied his disability, but I told him, and I always tell everybody, they they will deny you the first time. If you're not on a freaking ventilator or dialysis or, I mean, something, they will deny you, and it's just routine. They just deny you. But that's your money. That's why you paid into social. That's why it's called Social Security. It's not just there for retirements. It's there if you should become disabled. That's part of your benefits. And I'm sure Mike, like I did, and all of us have, have worked all of our lives or a good part of our lives. And so I put a comment on it and said, it may not be what you want to hear, but it's free. Call the biggest one, whoever's doing the most disability claims in his town or his area. Call them. It's a free consult, and they won't take the case if they don't feel like they can win it. If they win it, there's a predetermined fee up front, and it's like 5,000 or something, or whatever, whatever your settlement is. I had to appeal mine twice through the lawyer, and the third time I actually asked for a trial, face-to-face trial with a judge in Chattanooga, and she gave it to me, not just for the three things that we were asking for, but for two other diagnoses. I know I'm really screwed up. So I got it, and I got everything that I had, from the first time I had applied for it. So I got all of the back checks, the previous checks, not back physical, but previous checks for 1 year. So it was a nice little, it really helped me because I hadn't been working for a year and was living off of savings and had to get in my IRA. You don't want to do that if you don't have to. So I hope you'll, not be so disgusted with it and let a lawyer handle it for him. But they even denied mine the second time, and I had 5 doctors. I only go to 4 now, but 5 doctors saying you need disability. You're disabled. I didn't want to do it, but I sure made a lot more money than I do now. Yeah, well, let the lawyer fight for you. It's free. And I can't imagine how many new, the first time they get a year, so they deny. And the lawyer that took mine, actually, he and his wife are about 4 blocks from the Ark, and he's the disability lawyer in town. Really nice couple, and she loves Chihuahuas, and she's always a supporter of our Tree of Hope. Um, and I thought they were going to get, I didn't remember what papers I signed up front and stuff, but I thought they were going to get like a third of this chunk of change I got. And he said, no, it's like a small percentage. And it was like $4,000 or $5,000. So I was really pleased. But I guess for them, the disability is so easy because it's just, it's medical records basically. Well, maybe if he gets past where he's at now, he's disgusted with everything, and I don't blame him. But I said on the comment I made, I said, you do not have to, like he's saying he's had to lost everything that he's worked for all of his life. He has not lost it. Everything he worked for all of his life is sitting right there, and if he will let somebody fight for him, he can access that and have it. He might get denied again, but let the lawyer appeal it a second time, you know? Anyway, that's what I encouraged him to do. I've been through it. I've seen a lot of people go through it, and Mike, certainly has the medical issues from what he shared with me um, privately. That he's disabled. I'm not the one that makes the determination, but he's disabled. And now that we've rehashed all of Mike's business, no, we all love Mike, and we're just wanting things to be all right for him. We're not judging Mike, or I hate um, should have thinking. Should have, he should do this, he should do that. When you do should thinking, then that you know he deserves better than what he's getting. Nobody deserves that. Oh, he really is. Yeah, he is. More than I think most of us know, but he's talked to me a couple of times privately, and that's between me and him. And yep, yes, we are supporting Mike, and he does need help financially. I don't know if there's a link or anything for him, but I've helped him as I could, and I know a lot of you all have too. That he should. There, I'm doing it. In my opinion, he needs to let a lawyer take over this and get his money for him. He'll have insurance, you know. That's why he worked all of his damn life and put that money aside. He said something on there about he didn't like PayPal or something in the stream. He said something about PayPal that he liked something else, or so I don't know. But yeah. Oh, thanks for posting it. Well, I was going to offer to buy a couple of them, and I would pay the shipping, but he said local pickup only. But um, he doesn't have the shipping, which I get. It's $50, $75 depending on how far. Plus, he would have to have a car, to get them somewhere, or I guess have UPS or FedEx, or I think the only transportation's his sister helping him, but Cash App doesn't charge a fee to the person donating or the person receiving. There you go. He may have a Cash App. No, he said he preferred PayPal. Okay. I knew he mentioned PayPal. Okay. Well, I thought he had a PayPal link. I don't know. I don't know. What he really needs is a GoFundMe. And I tried to do one for him months ago, and that's when all of that was going on with that superstar that everybody was setting up GoFundMe's for. And it was flooded, and you couldn't get in. So anyway, all right, guys, it's been an hour and 15 minutes. I got to go warm me up some stir-fried rice and chicken or whatever frozen stuff I've got. But yeah, and don't forget Pam also is having some issues right now and can use our help too. So, oh, I see what you're saying. The PayPal me link. I don't think I have one either. But the only time I use PayPal is to usually to buy art from Sarah, Pam, stuff like that. All right, good night, I guess. I know, right? Grumpy. Grumpy Max. Yep. Grumpy Max Fish. Mike sure has been there for all of us in the past. Oh, okay. GrumpyMaxFish@gmail.com. Okay, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me and letting me ramble. And I hope that I finished everything eventually that I started talking about. If not, sue me. Sue me to help him out. Thanks, Whip. Yeah, he did mention his buy me a coffee also. Thanks, Wallway, for posting all these links. Good night, everybody. If I'm invited, I'll see y'all at Pam's tomorrow. But I also see you at Susie Q's and then Tennessee Fish Mafia. Good night. You guys rock. You guys are